In the drawings themselves, they grew over the period of the year. So it wasn't that I designed the drawing and made it at the end. The drawings function almost a little bit like an open sketchbook. There is some structure there, but different elements got added at different moments as certain things or experiences were had going to this particular location. And so in the one 6-panel work, which is called Outstanding in a Field, each one has a kind of a piece of printed material that connects to one of the trajectories that I went in as part of the research that happened perhaps after I was there. One of them, I was standing in the field on a summer day and thinking about the different things that we've used that's been imposed on this kind of land before, and started to think a bit about, on the one hand, the kind of sports soccer fields we have in a lot of suburban communities, but then also recalling going to Lollapalooza '94 in Molson Park up in Barrie, which was due north. And so dug out my old ticket stub, and that had kind of appeared in one of the drawings. Another one was where I parked the car. There was a poster posted for somebody offering to do concrete and interlocking services. And one of the things about Serra's work is there's not a lot of documentation about who made it. And growing up in the area, there was lots of classmates' families worked in construction, and I wanted to know I haven't been able to locate who did the concrete work. It's the kind of concrete work that would have been done to build building foundations. And so the likelihood that the people who made this probably built a lot of the other built environment of that era in this area. And so that poster kind of became there because it was a marker of that consideration. And so as you kind of move through, there's elements that kind of come from discovery, kind of cultural things that related to my own childhood and experience, but there's also art elements as well. And one of the kind of key ones is a cover of an artist book by the London, Ontario artist Greg Curnow called Deeb's Abstracts. It was published later in his life in the 1990s, and it is a publication where he as an artist who was very engaged with focusing on the local, did a deep dive into whatever kinds of records and archives he could to situate the place of his home and workplace, and even further to start to then identify those things that are not well presented in that archive. So trying to, through other histories, sort of get a stronger sense of Indigenous presence on those territories over time. And as an artwork, I think it was a really rich target for thinking about the complex ways that we need to go to kind of deeply situate ourselves with place. And so it became there because it became this like touchstone for thinking how to think with or at this location in King City, Ontario.